So I'm so excited to talk about this video, to talk about behind the scenes on Dream Again. When I did this video, I had a whole lot to prove because up until that point, I'd never had an album that really I felt like resembled what I was capable of. I imagined it, but I didn't actually have one. And so when I was looking over my budget and like what I was willing to spend, when I decided to do Dream Again, and I picked the song Dream Again for the music video, I was like, okay, you know, I've never paid for a wedding and this is going to be online for the rest of my life. And it's going to be the first time people really see me, you know, and what I say and how I say it is going to be super important. So those are the first parts of this video. A little bit more behind the scenes. Dream Again, the album, and this music video came out at a very, very pivotal point in my life. I'd gone through serious health issues, lost the person that meant the most to me in a relationship up until that point, and I was on a free fall. Like, this album came out of kind of a miraculous gift from someone, and it was my saving grace at that point in time. I didn't feel like I had anything left to live for, and then music became that number one thing that kept me going. So there was all this angst at that point in time in my life that I was putting into my album, that I was putting into this video. And when I look back, I remember thinking, when this drops and when this music comes out, when this video comes out, everybody's gonna know that this is what I was supposed to do. And you know, making this video was so much fun. It was so ridiculous that what I know now is to just kind of live in the moment of everything that you create and that you're doing. Don't worry about what the outcome is as much, because that experience was so much fun. So when I decided to go with, you know, I'm going to go all out for this video, I wanted to pick the absolute best people, and Sympatico is the company. It's Zach and Everett who did this video, and they were so much fun to work with. It was incredible. And then I got all of my friends that could help me to, you know, help me get props and load up and stuff. And so it was a whole event. I had to get a hotel room close by where we filmed in Pennsylvania. So we have me. Here I am in my bedroom, which is downstairs. That is a picture of Rome, actually, that was taken by a close friend of mine and one of the most amazing photographers I've ever met. And he sent me that picture. It's still my favorite thing that I have. I had to have it in the frame. Now this thing that I'm winding up, this, wow, I can't think of the word right now, but the prince and the princess dancing around. I'm picking up a picture, which at that point in time was of the relationship I had just lost. We get to the Disney theme, and the one thing I think that has always kind of been prevalent in my life is this romanticized idea, of course, that prince and that relationship is going to be what fulfills me, or fulfills, honestly, with a lot of people. I think we all have that dream that love is going to be, and I'm not saying it isn't fulfilling, but what I have learned since making this video is that the most fulfilling thing is living up to your potential of what God calls you to be. So when you abandon that and you try to put a person, you know, in that role, which is actually up to you, you know, we are supposed to live what we're called to live. When you do that, then the right person comes in to your life, because you can't make a person do the things for you that you need to do for yourself. Yeah. Lots of learning since all of these things happened, and I was in a lot of pain in this video, but I wanted that allusion to the Disney princess theme of this is kind of how I live my life. You know, that person was going to come into my life and make everything perfect. And as we see in this video, that's not how it works. So we have this ominous thing that comes through the frame. And then this was so much fun. We shot with a drone only for a few minutes before it crashed and broke. But we got this footage, which was super fun. So beautiful, and it was absolutely freezing. And there's my roommate, Amanda. supposed to be what I might become, this agoraphobic, weird bride that's going through the forest. There she is again. And this was such a hard scene to film. So it was like maybe like 6 or 5 in the morning. And take a look. See her gloves? I don't know if you could see her glove, but I had to, like, when I was going through, I did her hair extensions. So those are extensions that I did. Of course, we have her in a wedding dress, but I had to take her gloves. I wanted them to look aged. So I put them in tea and coffee and like soaked them in it, which was cool. And I don't even know if any of these details showed up, like once the video happened. This was our first place that we filmed, and it was so cold that morning. It was absolutely freezing. And I was in a wedding dress, and she was in a wedding dress, and we had to set up all of this stuff. That mirror was given to me by clients of mine who I absolutely love, and we ended up using it. And then we have the same, if you can see it, Prince and Princess right here. So we pulled the same things in. So it's like, you see me in my bedroom, I'm winding it up and going to bed, and now we're going back into a dream, or we're going forward in time to maybe where I end up being stuck, right? So we have Amanda, you know, creepy bride going through the woods, and then the way that the video ends up playing out and how you envision it are two very different things. But this was supposed to be me going to my wedding in the morning, and then we see what I see in just a second. So it was freezing, by the way, so cold. And I remember I had given myself a fake spray tan, and I smelled so badly that I didn't want anybody around me during this time period, because I was like, I did not smell good. That stuff does not smell good. You might look good, but you don't smell good. So we go back, we see me, and, you know, we're showing a comparison between me in my room, and then we've got this other bride sitting there with the same setup. I see it. The guy that's supposed to be there is not there. So, and actually it goes along pretty well with the song, because it's saying I'm at the end, and I was really at the end of what I could handle when I wrote this song. And so I see it, I don't want it to be true, and I start to run. And actually filming that scene was really hard. The little details that they get on my dress were incredible. They did such a great job. And I think at this point, so here's my favorite shot, honestly, of the video. This is right before the drone crash. The drone goes up, and by the way, I did not bring this up, but this song, the way that this song worked out, and we just heard him, it's Dalif Ali who's playing the guitar. I had accidentally stumbled across some YouTube videos of his years before, like broke down crying, pulled my car over on the side of the road. I reached out to him, and we became friends. And then when I was making this album, he had seen some of the health issues I was going through. I had had heart surgery, lots of things happening. And I was like, would you ever consider playing on my songs? I sent them to him, and I remember waiting. He got back to me, he was like, yes, and I couldn't believe it. So he sent his tracks all the way across the world over for this song. So he is the guy on the steering guitar, which was so cool. And he's actually playing the guitar right here when the drone shot happens. You can hear him. Yeah. And this is my favorite shot of the whole thing. And this is right before the drone crashed, because it crashed and broke. Okay, one of my students saw this, one of my piano students, and they were like, you look like a seal, which is true. I look like a cow seal, like laying down on this rock, which is super funny. But before this happened, in the actual filming with Everett and Zach, they had bought this new camera at this point in time, and they were trying to pass it to each other and almost dropped it. Like at first they both wanted to use it because it was really, really cool and brand new and expensive, but it was super heavy. And so there had been a really funny thing that happened, and I just remember this every time I saw the video, because one of them did a barrel roll. They got tired hanging, like holding the camera, so they wanted the other person to hold it. It was funny. And here, I don't know whose idea. I think it's because I saw a Tori Amos video when I was a kid that really moved me. And she was going through the water. It's actually, I think, about her having like some miscarriages, and yeah, Spark. It was Spark. And she, I don't know, I think it was in the back of my head, but we ended up somehow, it's somebody's idea for me to get into the water. That dress was so long that it got stuck in the current. And actually, right after this shot, I was in a pretty dangerous situation because it was freezing cold in that water. Like, this is in November, I believe. So this shot gets taken. We had to throw the dress off the bridge. We see that later because it was soaking wet. I had like 3 or 4 wedding dresses that I had ordered for this video shoot. And this was one of them that just didn't look as good. So I don't know how we decided to do this scene or why exactly, but this is what happened. So I'm about to get pulled down in the current. Oh, and then it's the cow seal part. There's Amanda. And a beautiful shot of the dress. They did such a great job. And this is on my back deck. And my friend from high school who, I couldn't find anybody to do the music video, and I think that we all come up to this point sometimes when we're getting creative. It's actually really hard to find somebody to stand in for, you know, for these things, because it's a lot of work. And I had to set up the back deck for this. Josh and I put rose petals all over the place. There was a ladder on the back, and I think we had to do all the lighting. And I'm actually in the dress. So everything that I picked to wear in this video, as you will see me do in every video, has a lot of symbolism. So that dress was the dress I was wearing in the end of the relationship that I was talking about, and this guy is actually supposed to represent that guy. So I wanted to have some of the scenes play out in this song that actually had played out in my life. So we cut back to that. We have one quick scene of that, and I have to say, I'm wearing hair extensions. I've done my own hair. I did my own makeup, which is just a ton of work. Now we see a little hint of something that's very, very important to me happened here. And I don't know if everybody picked up on that, but for me, it meant a lot to have that part just in the video. Okay, and there we see my engagement ring coming off, and we see the hand of Amanda that I dipped in tea reaching out. So, you know, obviously that's okay. You might end up being this old woman that never gets married and goes around wishing stuck in the past, basically, in this thing that you can't get over. I love that shot because it shows him disappearing and the lights pop up, and it just looks so great. This is one of my favorite shots in the video. They did such a good job here. We constructed that cross super fast. I don't know whose idea it was. I wanted to have some symbolism. I'm a very spiritual person, alluding to things that happened, like maybe being bigger than what I thought they would be. So somebody threw together that cross. I think we had a hammer, we had some nails, we did it really fast, and then this was honestly fly by the seat of the pants scene. Somebody came up with this idea, but Amanda obviously is behind me. I'm always haunted by this past, or by this thing that I could become if I don't let go of the past. I love this shot. She touches my shoulder and we just don't know, and that is so beautiful. That shot right there, going back on that bridge, like this part I just love. I love this part. So that was a drone shot too. And now we're kind of going back through everything that's happened. And it was actually my idea, I think, to overlay the film. and kind of run it backwards, because even when I came out with this video, I didn't actually know how anything was going to end. My heart was broken, and I didn't actually know how it was going to end. This part's just really cool. So we're going back to the very beginning here. And then we have that dream that we start with, of that relationship that's going to fulfill you, you know, and then look, does it? No. You really can't put your worth and your value, it can't all hang on the relationship that you're in. I mean, I think we all know that, but sometimes it takes losing everything to realize like what is actually the most important thing, which is honestly always doing what you're called to do with your life, and you should never abandon that, you know, for love. And if you do, it's probably a good indicator that that isn't the right relationship. I also wanted to say that the song was recorded at the Deep End with Tony Correlli, and the video was made by Everett Glovier and Zach Myers with Sympatico. It was a really, really incredible experience. I hope you enjoyed it. I had so much fun talking about it and bringing it back. As I'm about to move forward and release some new music videos, I figured a behind the scenes making of Dream Again video was totally in keeping with what I'm about to do next. Thanks so much for listening.